Hi again, it's good to see you. It's good to see you popping up here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel, where we're going to do, well, another tutorial. And this time I thought what we'll do is let's do something Christmassy, because I know the last couple, apart from the last one technically would be classed as Christmassy when it comes to the mirror box that I done with the Christmas mirror pads and of course the Violet Studio bow. However, this one I thought let's do a lovely little gift bag. Thought let's do a gift bag, and I had a little route around to see, of course, as to what we can be using to decorate the gift bag. So we're going to be showing you that in a moment. Kind of show you the main elements that I've dug out that we'll start to use, and then I'll start to pull out additional items such as cardstock, embellishments, as and when we are making the gift bag. But as I said before, it's so lovely to see you popping across here on my YouTube channel where you're giving me a follow, where it comes to, of course, the videos that I do. Now, of course, I do say, of course, follow. I know when it comes to here on YouTube, you have subscribe, which is lovely to see. Lovely to see so many subscribing. Also give me the thumbs up when it comes to the videos. It's just letting you know that, or letting me know that you're enjoying them. And then, of course, many of you have also been taking advantage of that bell that you can find at the top. Whereas you hit that bell, and that just means every single time that I post a brand new tutorial, instead of you having to wait and keep on looking to see has Craig posted one, by hitting that bell, that then means, of course, well, you automatically get an alert to say Craig Laird Crafter's Companion has posted a new tutorial across on his YouTube channel, so you know that you can go there and have a look and watch straight away, or of course you can go back and watch whenever you want. At least you know it's there for you to tune into. So as I said before, I thought what we'll do is let's do, of course, a gift bag. I'm going to do a gift bag here by using one of my favourite sets from Christmas the other year. So let's bring in from up above here. Many of you will recognise this set here. So this was just some of the collection. When it comes to this one, you can see this one I'm going to be using the Joy. So we've got the Joy die, we've got the decoupage dies, and the decoupage pad. Now you did, of course, get some stamps to go with it as well. There was also, I'm trying to think, there was Snow, there was Holly, and Noel. They were the other three, but I thought let's go with Joy for this one here. And when it comes to making a gift bag, I thought let's do it in a craft bag, because I've got these craft bags. These are craft gift bags. You can see they're from Stix2, Shock Horror. So I thought let's use one of these and make a lovely little gift bag. So you can make a homemade gift bag for your Christmas gift. And then probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my large nesting dies. Now, as you know by now, we don't do our own large nesting dies. Straight edge large nesting dies. And therefore, when it comes to the ones that I always use Chloe's from Chloe's Creative Cards. I use hers. Her nesting dies are the ones that I use, the large ones. When I say large, they go up to at least 8 inches, certainly when it comes to the circles. So that's what I mean by large nesting dies. So we're going to use them. We're going to use one of the gift bags. So let's do that. Let's go in. And what I love more of a late when it comes to Stix2 is how so much where possible is all made with recyclable paper. Even the outer wrap in this one here, no sticky dot holding it together. It is all looped in so it can all be recycled. So I think, what have you got in there? You've got 4. You've got 4 craft bags in there. So let's take one of them out and let's just move that out the way. So we've got our craft bag. What are these? These ones, 7.5 inches by, what's that, about 9.25. So good sizable bag that we've got here when it comes to our gift bag. See, we've got a good variety of stuff in there, little goodies in there for Christmas gifts. So I'm going to set that one to the side because we're not going to need, well, we're not going to need it just yet. I mean, I'm going to flatten it because we'll decorate it while it's been flattened. So we can put that out the way. But for this one, it is all about it. We can see here our Christmas decoupage, our expressions here. So what we are going to do when it comes to these ones here, let's take out the actual Joy die. And, you know, and they're still sizable, because the concept with these ones are, when it comes to the outside edge, if I turn it that way, when it comes to the outside edge, it die cuts all the way around, but just not at the top there. And that's where you can start to create your own Joy shape card blank. Or of course you can do what I do and just use these as sizable dies for decoration. I mean, you imagine with that one into there, and in actual fact, because they're that large, on this occasion, I might not actually need my large nesting dies. I think that's going to be large enough for me to decorate without. So we've got our outer die, but then what we've also got as well is we've got our actual word die, our joy, that you can see here. And then if you are using them for your card blank, you've even got your centre of the O. So yeah, I don't think I will need my nesting dies for that. I think I'm just going to use it au natural as it is. So let's set that back out the way. What we're going to need is we're going to need one of the pages from our decoupage. I'm actually going to do two because when it comes to these, you can see that you've got 5 levels here. What you could do is you could start to do your own little bit of fussy cutting and you can build even more layers if you want to. Might do that, but let's just stick to the one just now. I don't need the stamps for this one, although the stamps are where you can then just create your own decoupage. But what we do need is, of course, we need our dies to do the decoupage. So as always, if I ever go quiet, like I'm away to do just in a moment, it's because I'm taking a drink. And as many of you know by now, none of these are edited. So what I do is what you see. So let's bring in the dies here. Now your dies have got all of the deboss detail as well. So if I then go in a little bit closer for now, you can start to see you've got your outer edge. So that's going to cut it out. But all that deboss detail is going to leave an imprint on the design, which just makes it look beautiful. Gives it that little bit more texture as well. So we're going to take number 1. Now the first one here, it does say number 1. It's very, very small, but it is there. Or you can just come along and write on your packaging if you want to. But what we're going to do with the first one, lay it over the top. So we can see there, we can start to see that white halo coming through. We don't want to see that. So we're just going to position it. So where you got number 1, we'll overlay over onto number 1. And then I'm just going to move it about just so I can make sure I don't see any white. As soon as I don't see any white, I'm good to go. So I'm happy with that. So let's tape that down. We're then going to go into number 2 and we're going to do the same. Now the difference this time is there's no white outer edge. So therefore, we just want to make sure that we don't see any of that design. So I'm going to match up the number 2 to the number 2. And then I'm just going to make sure that I don't see any of that outer edge all the way round. And then we're going to tape. We're going to repeat that for number 3. So let's take number 3, twist it around, turn, and then we're going to overlay till I can see no printed image. Press in. We're going to then repeat that for number 4 and then number 5. So let's just twist that one in there. Move that about. And then once you're happy, we're just going to commit with the tape. And then last but by no means least, for anyone wondering, this is just old washi tape that I'm trying to use up. We're going to overlay once again. And don't worry too much, you've got a little bit of scope that if you're not quite bang on, don't worry. And then we're going to go in with our plates here. So I'm going to go in. Now these will fit on your junior plates. They'll also fit in your midi. But because I've got my large plates here, I'm just going to go for them. What I'm also going to do as well is I'm going to take out my magnetic shim. Because I think, because it's quite simple detail, I'm quite confident that the detail or the outer edge will cut without having that extra pressure of the magnetic shim. So although when it comes to die cutting we say the 2 cutting plates, frosted shim, magnetic shim, there is a time and a place, and a lot of normal detail dies, shape dies, you don't actually need all that pressure. So if you can take it out, do that, because then what that means as well, it's going to prolong your plates a lot longer. So let's twist that around, and yeah, That's cut perfectly without the aid of my magnetic shim. So all that we're then going to do is we're just going to peel these out, and then what we've then got is the start of our image. Let's move that out the way. We're just going to keep working our way around. So we've got 1, we've got 2, we can then go into 3, and you can see by just making sure as I align the die you don't see any of the printed detail, it means that you're not left with any white outside edge. And then we're going to come in with this one here. So that's number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. That is them all now. Let's pop that out. So we've got our 5 levels that we can see here. So I can move all these bits out the way. I'll put the dies away at the end. Move that out the way. And then I'm not going to start to build up the decoupage just yet. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to set them out of the way. And in actual fact, let's set these ones out the way. And then we'll bring in our joy die. So if I bring this one in, what we're going to do is we're going to decide on the colour. Now, straight away, I'm thinking green, red and white. Not necessarily all 3, but we can see the white within the background. We've got the red, of course, from our bow. But then we've also got the red and the white from the candy cane. But then not only that, we've got all that green from the foliage. We've got that bit of yellow as well, which would work if you wanted to. But for me, the main striking colours there are white, red, and then green. So I wouldn't necessarily, and this is just me, I wouldn't necessarily do red and green together. You can do. You absolutely can do. So my first thinking is, because we've got white as that backdrop, I'm thinking white and I really like the look of white and red because I'm thinking that from the candy cane. I love the white and red look. So I'm going to go with that thought process just now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the main matting layer. So this is going to be the base. So I'm thinking white for that. And then the actual joy die can then be red. So I'm just going to use my white multi-purpose here. And then I think what we can also do is, as much as I love my linen cardstock, and you know I do that and use that all the time, thinking maybe a little bit of red Centura Pearl. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, red Centura Pearl. Maybe like a cherry red. So I've got Christmas red. Let's take that out just in case. And let's have a look. We've got cherry red in this one. Oh, don't think it's in that one. So let's take my next one. Wait, you see, I've got 3 boxes of Centura Pearl, which are all our 10 packs. Wait, you see, it'll be in the last box. It always is. Nope, not in that one. So last, by no means least, unless I've run out, which I don't think so. I can see it. Here we go. There we go. Cherry red. So, from what I can see, the cherry red is going to be more of a perfect colour fit with the bow. So we'll show you that. So if we then come back up across here, if I bring in the cherry, let's take one out. So let's take a little bit out here, just so we can kind of go side by side. So if I do the white and the red, and then when it comes to the actual bow itself, it seems to work quite well. See, the thing is as well, we've got real stark and bright white, that I don't want anything too bright red wise. I want to balance it out. I want to have that natural feel when it comes to the Kraft, the lightness when it comes to the white, and it kind of break up in the middle with the cherry red. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to go for. I may change it. I'm going to go for that. So let's take out a full piece for me to cut the joy into. Just in case anyone wonders as well, this is how I tend to store all of my cards. So I keep them, like most things, in their original packaging. And then I keep all the offcuts at the back. That's just tend to be what I do. So let's pop that to the back. And let's do some cutting now. So as I said, so let's do the joy first. And there's a reason that I'm going to do the joy first. And that's all to do with this aperture within the middle. So let's cut this. And although I would be able to fit both onto my large plates, as I say, when it comes to that aperture, what I'm wanting to do is I'm going to do that separate, just to make sure I can align that aperture a little bit better. So let's take that and let's take that. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to keep out my magnetic shim, because I do think, although we're going through this time 310 GSM with the actual Centura Pearl, I think that'll still cut because it's a simple outline. The decoupage pad, that was 250 GSM, so it's lighter. It means you can flex it a bit better if you want to shape it. And that has cut perfectly without the need of our magnetic shim. So there's joy. And then even then, if that was lined up better, pop that there with a bit of acetate to the back, and then there's a joy shaped shaker. But I don't need that. So let's move that out of the way. And now this time, what we're going to do is let's bring in the actual joy. So this one's the outline. And remember, there's no cutting edge, just to the tip of the die. We'll need to finish that off ourselves when it comes to that top part. So we're just going to tape down, and then we're going to tape down, that we can see here. Then what we're going to do is let's take that inner. Now at the moment, I'm not quite sure exactly, being bang on, where I need to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my die cut. I could have used the die cut, or I could even use this if I wanted to. Let's put that back in. Slot that in as close to being central as possible. And once I'm happy with that, what we're going to do is we're going to come in with that central aperture of the O. And then I'm going to tape that in. Tape that in. Take that die out. Now I know that that is in the perfect position within the centre of that joy. So let's move that. Let's flip and rotate. And then we're going to run that through our Gemini just now. And as that's going to cut, we can start to build that up. I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do a drop shadow with a little bit of gold satin. I think that would work. Disappear there for a moment. So if I take that out, now remember, as I said before, this is going to have the top part still left. So let's take that away. And I've still left my small scissors in my craft case. So therefore, What have I done with? Here it is. Here it is. Let's go in for our toolkit and go in with our small scissors. So then all that I'm needing to do is where we've got the top here, let's just snip away that excess. So I'm just going to round that off with my scissors. Like so. Neaten that off. And then there we go. We've got our outer edge of the joy. So let's take, I'm not going to move that just yet, because as I say, what I am going to do, so let's do a bit of gold satin. Which is here. So it's like a true gold satin that I've got here, or matte cardstock. Some call it matte, some call it satin. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to do now. What do I want to drop shadow that, or do I want to drop shadow that? I'm going to go with that just now. I might change my mind. Do you know what I could do? Let's do them both. Let's just do them both. So that can go on. And we can cut that. Let's take our outer joy and tape that in there and that in there. Let's take our inner, so let's just use that as a guide that we can see here. So let's get my tape ready from the side here and here. So once that's, do you know what, I'm more comfortable if I do it this way. So let's put that in to there, like so, and then bring that in to there. Let's just make sure that's still nicely aligned. I'm going to take that off again. Like I say, you don't need to worry about it being too precise. Although you don't need to worry about it, you know what I'm like. I like to be precise, I can be pedantic sometimes. So let's tape that in there, and that in there. So that's that one, and then there's that one. So let's tape that down, let's just press that in to make sure it's nice and secure. Once again, I'm going to keep out my magnetic shim and just have 2 plates and frosted shim. That's going to do that cutting. And then at least now I've got both options to have a look. Do I want to do the drop shadow of that main outer joy, or do I want to do the drop shadow of the actual word joy? So let's then have a look. Gosh, I keep cutting these off. So let's take that out. So we've got joy, and then take that out. Here. Take that one out. There. And then there. Take that out, and then we're going to do the same here. So let's just roughly cut that excess away there. And then we can then come along and just finish that off. So there is a light embossed line that I'm just following. And now that's given me that layer. So I've got option. I might use them all. I might use them both. Let's have a look and see. So we've got options here. So I can either do that and then, so if I do a light drop shadow there, and then that, which I quite like. Or I can just do white on the back with a touch of gold just popping out there. You can see ever so slightly. See, I quite like that. I like the white on the back with just that subtle bit of gold popping behind the cherry red. Or of course, we could go, and already I'm thinking, nah. Yeah, nah. It's just a little bit too much. I'm just going to roughly, yeah, nah. So I like that. I like that. The light little bit of drop shadow from the gold behind the cherry. Let's see if I've got my glues. Yeah, oh no, we're okay. That might have been dried up, so I've not used it for a number of days. So going in with Stix2 Tacky glue. If you've got the call-out glue, you can use that, of course. Or you might have your double-sided adhesive sheets, which you could use them as well. So I'm just going to work my way around there. And then we're just going to come right to the edge as well. I'm just going to spread it out slightly. So I'm just going to tap that on the back of the hand. It just means as well, once it's dried, I've got something to peel away at. Or you could just dab it onto your glass mat if you want to. Or of course, if you want to use your dotty tape runner, you've got that option. As well as your adhesive sprays. So once I've got that to where I want it, just going to maneuver that into there until I've got that light little bit of a gold drop shadow. I think it's light, it's subtle, and it does the job. Now when it comes to this, I think, do you know what? I know what we could do. Let's go all out. Let's do a shaker in the middle. Let's make it a real luxurious gift bag. Of course, you could do this onto a carte blanche if you want to. I'm just getting some acetate. So let's get some acetate, and what we're going to do is I just want that to be big enough for now, not exact, I just want it to be semi-big enough for the back of my O, like so. Let's just roughly cut there. And I'm going to put the acetate on the back, because obviously I want that back in, but I'm going to put it on the back because I don't want to put it to the front, and then you're still going to see some of that sheen onto the white. You know, you can if you want. I don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it to... Actually, will I do it to the front? Will I do it to the front? I don't know. Yes, I will do it to the front. Because if I do it to the back, even if I get adhesive right to the edge all the way around, there's still potential for any bits to stick in there. So yeah, so I'm going to do it to the front. I'm going to take my, I'll just do my 6-inch, and what I need to do is make sure that it's not been seen. So no, let's do it to the back. I'm going to do it to the back. I'm going to come right to the edge all the way round, and then snip away. And then it means I don't need to worry about trying to hide the red liner tape on the opposite side. So I'm just going to work my way around here and snip that away. And snip. And snip now, at least at this point. I am going to try and get as close to the edge as possible. You don't have to, but because I'm putting the acetate to the back to eliminate any little bits getting stuck between the back layer and the acetate, that's why I'm going to try and get as close as I can. Let me take my new favourite poke tool and peel the back end off here. Let me take all of that off, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go direct on with my acetate, and then I'll trim away the edges because it doesn't need to be neat because no one's going to see it. So I've got these overhangs here, so I'm just going to make sure I get rid of the overhangs like so. So there is now my back layer of my joy. So that's me got a barrier there at the back. Even although I would have been going direct onto there, I've just created my acetate barrier. I'm going to do the same with this one here. So we're going to go onto the back of the joy. And don't need to worry too much about there being any gaps at this point. It's when we come and use our foam on a roll that we're going to have to be careful. So let's take these ones. We're going to work our way around. You can use your tacky glue with your acetate. You just need to make sure you've left it a good amount of time to dry, because it's obviously not a porous surface, so there's nowhere for the glue to dry into. I'm going to then take, you know what I just realised as well? There's a backing on this and I've not peeled it off. Or did I? No, I never. There we go. Yeah, always make sure. Did you do it on this one? I can't remember. That's too late now. It doesn't matter. You don't really, even if it is a bit cloudy, you don't really actually see it, so it's fine. Let's take that off. All the way around. Let's peel all those bits from a red liner tape. Get in with the pokey tool, move that about. And then for this one, I'm just going to roughly eyeball it once again. Will that be big enough? Yes, it will. Let's put that on, press that in, and then once again, we're just going to go around. We're going to cut around that edge. Let's work our way around here. Undercutting. So therefore you don't need to be neat because no one's going to see it. Work our way around, making sure that we're not got any acetate over the edge, which we don't, so we're all good there. Let's take any little bits of residue red liner tape off, and now that's me got that barrier. So I've got the barrier base and top for that joy, and then we need our foam on a roll. So let's take, I've got a thick foam on a roll. I'm just looking for my foam on a roll and my foam strips, wherever. Here we go. Because I don't want my foam on a roll, I don't want it to be too thick. I know in a past tutorial when it comes to foam on a roll I used kind of like a 4mm one. I don't want with this because you need to keep in mind we're going to be building decoupage on top of there, so it's going to be quite high anyway, so I don't want the actual decoupage to be, or the actual layer for the joy to be too high. So if you've got your foam on a roll or you got your strips, what I'm going to do is to make it kind of easier for myself, I'm just going to go towards the middle of the O. So I'm not going to come right to the edge of the O, as in that edge. We're just going to come along. We're just making sure we're butt right against the edge. We're going to work all our way around till we get right to the top, and we get to that connect. We're just going to press and really press that in so that we can make sure that's nice and even. And then is that the same? Nope, they're thicker. So then let's take, I could still use those foam pad strips, but let's just use my foam pads that are the same depth, which all of these are 3mm. 3mm in depth, these ones. That goes for the foam pad strips as well. So let's add these. These are then these size here, that's 7mm by 7mm squares. Of course you could use any of them and just even the bigger ones and chop them down. I think I've got enough there. I've still got stability all the way around there, so I'm happy with that. And then we need to decide what is going to be our shaker. So I want to use, I'm thinking my micro beads again. I think I need to go into the box for a new one because I think I used them the other day. What about, actually, I've got, yeah, now, here we go. Here we go, box of delights here. Let's do a little sort. So I've got an old range of glitter that we've done in the past. As you know, I don't really use glitter a lot, but what I am thinking of using are what's in these little tubs from Stix2. They're called seeds and beads. Because there's a mixture of, or seeds, beads and glitter. So it's a mixture of seeds, beads and, funny enough, glitter. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? And I've spied some, what's left, some red and gold, tiny little beads and glitter. So I'm thinking that there's some red glitter in there. I could always use, could always add a little bit of the green because we've got the green in there, but I'm not going to. What I'm just going to do is stick with the red and the gold that I've got. And I know what's going to happen. As soon as I go and lift this, they're all going to fall over, aren't they? Of course they are. Of course they are. Right, so let's put them in there. Let's put them in there. And let's move them out there. So this time, let's go back in with this. And then I'm going to take all of these off to start with. I'm going to start with the squares. Taking all these off. There. And then there. And then we're going to come along and we're going to do these ones as well. So we're going to take all of that off. And then all of that off. So that's now good to go. I'm just going to use it just to make it easier for you to see. Let's take our red and gold that I've got in here. And actually, because I've put the acetate on the back there, I've got kind of like a tiny little ridge in there. So that should, hopefully, help by holding all of this in. Because it's tiny little beads, they're just going to roll all over the place, that you can see just here. Like so. And then let's take all of that. I'm going to flatten that out as best as I can, making sure that I've got, oh sugar, there we go. Right, I think we're all good. So let's come along now with that. Actually, let's add some more. Let's add some glitter. So let's add that in. Let's take our, let's use our scissors and let's just help flatten that out as well. Like so. We're going to come along here. Just making sure, I should have used a kind of anti-static bagger that first. But let's press that in, and that. Give it a really good press to make sure none of that's going to fall out. Press all the way round, all the way around. And then there we go. We've got our shaker that you can see within the middle just here. Cool. Like that. So that can now, that will be able to go onto the front of our bag. So I'm not going to stick that on just yet, because let's bring in our decoupage layers. So we can see how that's coming together. So let's take one, so let's do these ones first. Let's take all of these, let's take our foam pads once again. So let's start with our second layer. I'm just going to go in and add my pads on. By adding them on, it's just going a little bit closer for you. Add a good amount. If you want to shape it, of course you can do. As many know, it's not that I'm not a fan of shaping my decoupage, but I do like that good old-fashioned flatness when it comes to the decoupage. It reminds me of the really, well, back then was fancy cards with a little bit of decoupage that I used to get from my gran. I say decoupage, it was only one layer of decoupage. And then for this one, it's really, really fine, but it's still worthwhile if you've got the patience. Just cut some little bits of foam pads and add them on. If I add them onto there, and then do a couple more. So there's that one, and not quite cut that. Actually, that can go into there. It's small enough. Now I really am adding a lot to this really fiddly bit. You don't have to. You don't have to add as much as I am. So there's that one. So I've not added my foam pads to that one just yet, because I'm going to do that once I fully decide on whereabout I'm going to go. So let's start with these ones here. So let's take the backing off from these. And then let's start to overlay that onto there, like so. Press that on. Then let's take these ones. That's our third layer. And that one can go onto there. And then I'm going to take our fourth layer. Just use my fingers to take these ones off. Into there. that can then go over the top there and press that on, and then flatten all these pads, and then take these ones off. What you could also do with this little bow, instead of popping it on completely flat, the other options I'd be inclined to is to just pop a little bit of glue just onto the back of that little knot of the bow, and just use glue and then shape the bow. That would look nice. But let's take that one, and then that we're going to overlay into there, and then there we've got our candlelit foliage decoupage that we can see here. So that's our layer there, which then when we bring on top of our gift bag, we can see as we start to line that up. I'm going to bring that in because I don't want to see the bottom of that O. I don't want it to be like that. I want to come down a little bit further. You can see, leaving it like that. So I'm happy with that, so therefore let's commit to the stick with this one. I'm just going to use my tacky glue for round there. So let's go around. I'm going to go round on the acetate as well, and that outer edge. And there's that one. That I'm going to pop straight onto there, and then press that in. I like how we can still start to see some of that Kraft way into the background. Let's hold and press that in, and then we're going to come in with our next layer. So this one I'm going to add on foam pads. So let's take, is that the same depth? Yes it is. So for these ones, so I pretty much know that I want to go around all of that basis on my foam pads there. So there's that one there, and then there's that one there, which is then going to sit nicely onto there, which it does. I'm going to then take them off here, here, and then here. That one I'm then going to position, so I'm going to keep it so it's coming around the top O and then to the side as well. And then there is our bag. Now you could have, of course, stenciled, we could have stenciled some detail on the back. I'm going to keep it quite simple, where what I am going to do is red gems or gold gems. A signature. Once upon a time, think of a tiny little flower. And there's a reason as to why I'm doing the little ditzy bloom. The little ditzy bloom. The reason I'm thinking of these ones is we've got these tiny little ditzy blooms in there. So I was thinking just in white, because they're in white. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's where the thought process has come from. And then a tiny, oh excuse me, tiny little gold gem in the middle, I think. So let's, yeah, got these tiny little gold gems. So let's bring in my mini. And I'm not going to layer up these flowers. I'm just going to do one single floral. I'm going to do it 6 times. Do 3 and 3. But I'm not going to layer them up and shape them or anything like that. Like, well, when I say shape them, I'm going to shape each individual one. But I'm not going to layer a couple together and shape them. I've just made that really complicated to understand exactly what I was meaning. So we'll have a proper play with the positioning in a moment. So there's 1, 2, 3. I think that just matches. It's filling out the back. Although I like the backdrop of the Kraft, it's just filling it out ever so slightly, but it's also pulling in from what we've got within that design. So the other ones as well. Let's just do these ones here. I think this little ditzy bloom floral is perfect for this. So 1, 2, and then 3. Like that. Let's just go into, I'll do that. There we go, that's better. That and that. So I've kind of got that flow. You could have used snowflakes. Snowflakes would work really well as well. But again, I'm just going back to the fact that we've got that little ditzy bloom down at the bottom just there. Let's kind of space them out that little bit better. So there we go. There we go. That's it. So we've got that flow going upwards, and just taking a little sponge mat that I've got here, and do I want to shape it ever so slightly, just a little bit. So therefore, let's bring in just like a little ball tool here. I'm just going to shape that centre. So I'm doing it on the, oh no I'm not. I'm doing it on the front. So I've got the petals flowing upwards, and again I can see that from those ones. So add that in there, there, and then there. Let's get that back into a reasonable position, like so. And then once I'm happy, I'm just going to go in, lay, and then press, press, press. Let's do the same there, just with my tacky glue, lay in, and lay that in. Press, press, and then press that one. And then I'm going to go once again, so dot, 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 dot. Let's bring in my gems. These are from Hobbycraft, yes they are. So let's pick up a few of them. So let's do that. And I'm using gold because I've used, of course, that gold satin card. And I know I say it time and time again, but for anyone that is new, even although the gems that I use are self-adhesive, I'll pop glue onto the back of all of them. Every single one of them. Even when it comes to the incredible quality of them, I'll always put glue in, just to make sure. That can go into there, and then move that out. So that's filling out the bag. And then what I'm going to do just onto the inner, so dot, 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 dot. So we're continuing that curve all the way around. I'm not going to decorate the back of the bag, I'm only doing one side. Let's take them, maneuver that in, that in. As I say, the glue will dry clear. Let's lift that into there. And again, let's maneuver that like that. There we go. Happy with that. Luxurious shaker bag. I can open that up. So we let the glue dry, of course. And there we go. We can go in with things such as our glitter glue. I keep forgetting to use my glitter glues. We could use our glitter glues. We can go into our clear sparkle overlay if you want to. You can do all of that, but we've made our gift bag into a shaker that you can see here. Ready for Christmas. Little gifts in there. Nice little treat. And of course those gift bags are from Stix2 that I've used there. So there we go. There we are. A bit closer up for you so you can see. Turning that one around. What you could have done as well is use that centre aperture of an O, gone in with a pencil and cut through the bag. So then you would have seen, still do a shaker, but you would have seen all the way through to the back. So it's like, what's the gift inside? Can you see it? Is the glitter in the way? Is it a bit dark inside? A bit of a tease when it comes to what's inside there. But there we go. You've got the joy in that shaker, using the seeds, beads and glitter from Stix2 as well. There you go. And then just the tiny little ditzy blossoms from Once Upon a Time. And that's because I've pulled them out from the little flower florals that are there. There we go. So I think that's the first gift bag that I've done on one of these tutorial videos. I think it might be one of the first gift bags I've done in a while. But all done with our Christmas floral decoupage sentiment dies. I think that's what they're called. I've forgotten exactly what they're called, but many of you'll have them. If not, you can always adapt that idea to any big sentiments that you've got, or just a nice way to decorate your gift bag. So I hope you enjoyed that one there. Of course, if you do ever make or recreate or adapt anything that I've done within these videos and you pop them on social, please do feel free to tag me. It'd be lovely to see. Craig Laird CC, and it's just lovely for to see you popping across when you leave your comments once you've been watching. It's lovely to see all the names popping up, to see those that have been watching when it comes to these videos. And as I said at the start as well, if you haven't already, do please, of course, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe. However, what to do as well is hit that bell notification so that once every tutorial is uploaded, then of course you'll be alerted straight away. So that's another one done. I will see you again very, very soon for the next tutorial as to what that could be, I wonder. As it stands at this moment in time, I've got a little idea, but you'll just need to stay tuned for the next one. But until the next time, we'll see you again shortly on my Crafters Companion YouTube channel. Bye.